Viewers, welcome to my channel and welcome to this piano tutorial today. In today's lesson, I want to show you how to set this complicated but yet very common keyboard which is used in most of our churches today, wherever you are all over the world, be it in Asia, in Africa, in the United States, wherever. The Yamaha E473 is a very common keyboard, and I've gotten a request from some of my viewers that how do we set the various parts, because it appears a little bit complex given that it is an upgrade of the PSRs. Now, the first thing you do to your Yamaha is to power it on. The power button is here. So you press the power button and then it starts on. You can see, you give it time to load. And once it is loaded, the first interface on the screen will be the live concert grand. That is actually a very nice voicing for the piano. So in the first tutorial, we are going to see how can you set your Yamaha keyboard so that you get those nice voices for the worship, especially during the worship sessions in the church. Of course, people have got different tastes, but I'll go with the live concert grand as my voice one. Now, once you've chosen this first voice as the live concert grand, when you press it, you'll find that the release is very short. So the first thing you're going to do is to set the sustain, because I'm not using any sustain pedal for this particular piano, and therefore you've got to set the sustain. And in this keyboard, we do not have what is called the sustain, but instead it is named as the M release. So we go to the function button. This is the function. And when you press the function, the first thing that appears there is the transpose, but we are not interested in that. So we will scroll using this rotate dial. This rotate dial will take us to various functions, and we do it very fast until we are at the M release. So you can see now on the screen, it is marked as M release. Now that is our sustain. Once you are there, you enter, use the enter key here. Then we enter. You can see it is by default at 64, but for our worship, so that the voices are sustained, we are going to use the rotate dial once again and move it up to around 100. And I prefer using it when it is at 110, yes. But any figure between 110 and 114 is acceptable. So let's say it is at 111. So now if I strike the keyboard, you'll hear that my sound is sustained, and it can produce that nice sound that you want. This particular tutorial is not on any key, and therefore our intention is just to try and see how to set. Now, once we've set our main release at 110 for this, then you enter it, of course, to save it. And then the next thing we are going to do is to set the dual voice. Now, before you press the dual, we are going to use some additional buttons here. In the Yamaha E473, there is the shift button. So you will hold the shift button the way I'm holding it, then you press dual, and it takes you straight away to the strings. And now, if you want to hear how the strings sound, you once again press the dual to activate it. You can see on the screen now, there is that part. Now the dual is on. So when you press the keys, I believe you can get the strings the way they are sounding. So in most cases, this one is just yes. Our strings are there, and now our keyboard is okay. But once again, you realize that our strings are disappearing so fast. So we've got to go back and set what we are calling the dual release. Remember, the main voice, that was the live concert grand, had its sustain set. And now we do the same to our the dual release. So we press the enter button once again. It takes you to the screen at dual voice. And then we use the rotate dial once again, just a little bit. And you can see the dual chorus, dual attack, and we have the dual release. So we enter just like we did, and you can see it is also default at 64. So we increase it. Remember, the first one we set at 110. So we can take this one to around 100, just for matters of balancing, so that our strings do not disappear so fast when we hold. So you can do a song, here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you, my God. Yes. So our keyboard is now set and it is ready with very nice voice. The live concert brand layered together with the strings, and you don't need to master this again because this keyboard has got very many voices. Then you might be forced, but I prefer you employ, you try to explore your keyboard and see. We have the strings, we have the shortcuts here. So if you need the strings, when you press where we have the strings and ballads, of course the strings are for the voices, and then the ballads are for the drums or the beats. When you press there, it takes you to the shortcut for strings straight away. So our keyboard is now set, the strings are ready. Shout to Jesus. All right. Then the next thing you're going to do is to set some track for accompaniment, and we're going to set the beat. We don't need very serious beats because this voicing and these settings are for worship. So I'll go with the, you go to the style, and when you press your style, you can see on the screen we have that style number 1. And for matters of taste, I normally prefer voice number 58, and voice number 58 is the clamp piano. So you can use the rotate dial, move to number 58. Yes, there we are, the clamp piano. If you set it, I think you can hear the way it sounds. When I place it at main A, just some nice soft strings. Then for worship, in most cases, the worship songs are a bit slow. So at an average tempo of around 58, this is at 69. At 58 or 57, yes, we are okay now. Yes, now you can hear that our beat is playing there, and we can adjust it. Maybe when the singers now have started singing, you can use the autofill here to adjust it a little bit, and then we now have the beats playing. Power belongs to you. All power belongs to you. In heaven and earth, all power belongs to you. Yes, so you can see our keyboard is now set. Our E63 is set, and it is ready for the worship. Now, when the singers go on stage, you only need to pick the key where your singers are singing. Of course, in this channel, there is a different piano tutorial that I had done about, I'll leave the link in the description below, on how you can quickly pick up the key of singers when they raise and start singing their songs. Now, sometimes maybe in the dual voice, I did mention, for this particular setting, we had set the dual voice at strings, but there are times when some people, just due to taste, they prefer to use the pads. So if at all you don't use the strings as the dual voice, then you can also use the pads. And the pad voice that is normally preferred here is the warm pad. Actually, the warm pad sounds so nice. So if at all maybe you don't like using that, you can decide to use the warm pad. It will give you also another second voice. You just press the voice, and then you go to where we have the pads, and you'll have to dial. You dial until you reach where we have the warm pad. When you are finally at the warm pad, I think for this piano E473, the warm pad is at number 661. So we'll use our dial. We just do it very fast. The rotate dial moves so fast. So at voice 661, we get our warm pad. You can see I'm there at 661. Yes. So you can hear how it sounds. That is our pad. That is how the pad sounds alone. So when we layer it together with the live concert grand, then it gives a very nice, very, very nice voice for the worship songs. So if our voice one is, let's say, live concert grand at number 1, Yes, this is just rotating to go back to voice number 1, which is the live concert grant. Yes, so here we are. So that is our voice 1. That is voice number 1, live concert grant. You can hear the way it sounds. Then we shift and we go to dual, and it is by default at strings. So we don't need the strings. We need our 661. So I'm just trying to show you how we set that voice. I think it will help you. At 661, we have 661 here, yes. And there we are at warm pad, but it is not yet activated. So we activate the dual by pressing the dual button here on the screen. You can see I press it. Now it is activated on the screen. And now when I press this, you'll feel that the pad is on the background, but it is a little bit very fast. So you press the enter button, then you move to the dual volume. And our dual volume, when you press the enter, you can see it is at 45 on the screen. That is why you can't get the pad so well. So you use the rotate dial, you take it to around 100, but you can put it at your taste. Yes. So now when we press this, I believe you can get the pads very clearly. And now, let's lift our hands to Jesus. Yes, that cool atmosphere for worship that actually brings down the Holy Spirit can be got when you set your PSR-E473 very well. Do tune in to this channel for the next tutorial where I'll be taking you through on how you can set your keyboard now for 7 or for the praise sessions, be it Makossa or for just the normal praise, or for those who like the 7, especially in East and Southern Africa parts where we do the 7, and in West Africa where we have a lot of Makossa beats being done in the press. I'll be doing another tutorial to help you set this with the correct voicing and every setting that comes with this tutorial. If you found some value in this particular tutorial, please, I'll urge you to like the video, share it, and then you can hit the subscription button in case you hadn't subscribed to my channel. Bye-bye. Let's meet you in the next tutorial.